So my name is Engardio, and this is Shepard, and we co-produced this film, which will be shown on PBS on the series Independent Lens. It will be broadcast nationally on May 22nd next year, 2007. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and all of our panelists, and I'll just introduce them real quickly. We have Dr. Jason Edling, who is Seth's doctor, and we have Dolores Rasmussen, who is Seth's grandmother, and Jennifer Jenkins, Seth's sister, his mother Audrey, his soon-to-be wife tomorrow, Nina. And of course, Seth, glad to see him alive and well. And there's Dad Ralph, who gave up 60% of his own liver. And of course, Joseph Kempler and his wife Virginia.
Have you prayed more for the night before your surgery or the night before your wedding?
Surgery is easy, I just slept through that. I can't sleep through the wedding, unfortunately. I just woke up every morning, so. But no, it took a lot of family support and prayer to get through that ordeal there in California. And now I can say that the best years are definitely ahead, and I keep thanking Jehovah for all that He's given me. And tomorrow's another chapter of life.
My question is for you, Joel. You said you were raised in the truth, or your mother became one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Did you ever think about dedicating your life as one of Jehovah's Witnesses? And if not, why so? And my second question was, how did you come about gathering the cast?
Well, the first question, my mom is on my case all the time. So. Actually, my mom is here tonight from Michigan. So, but well, let me just tell you why I wanted to make this film. I've been a journalist for about 10 years, and it's an incredible story that's not being told. And it was an experience that I saw firsthand as a kid until I knew some of the history and some of the background. And I don't agree with everything, and my mom and me have our disagreements, but we also respect each other. And then I thought, well, this is a good message just for our society now. Here I saw a great example of a religion that stood firm for its beliefs, and went door to door and was not afraid to spread their views. But at the same time, they weren't out, trying to be violent or trying to stop others from their own beliefs through a political process, like many religions do today.
Kempler, someone asked them, how did they feel when they first approached to do this, and how difficult was it to go through this?
Joel's direction was so unobtrusive. Normally, you are in front of the camera, you get sort of nervous and tongue-tied, and you get all kinds of negative reaction. But every one of us, we forgotten about the camera being there.
It was scary for me. Joe looked forward to it and was glad to do it, but it was kind of scary. What surprised us was the generosity of spirit that Joel has had, because not every moment in all those hundreds of hours that we were followed around, not only at our home in San Francisco and in different places and in Europe, not every moment would we like to share with you. So it really is a kindness on Joel's part in editing it the way he did. And I'm very glad to be part of it.
For those of you who are curious and want to see all the juicy moments that are not in the film, I urge you to buy the DVD, because there's 3 hours of outtakes if you haven't seen it.
Were the people in the door-to-door ministry really non-witnesses, or was it staged?
Oh, great question. I'm glad you asked that question. So, No, that is all real, very, very real. And what you're seeing, there's so much more that I can't show, legally can't show, because I didn't get permission. I mean, there's some good, juicy stuff, but what I had to do was I had to go back after that exchange happened and then get their permission, to use this. And that scene, with the family, where they're arguing about, was Jesus God, is he not God, and all that. When I'm there while I was filming, I'm thinking, oh yes, this is great, this is good stuff. And I'm thinking, please, And so when I went, and when you saw the car drive away, like they really were driving away, so I had to run. Get them to roll down their window and explain, and they said yes. And it was amazing how so many people, householders as you call them, would just ignore the camera and it would be great. And then others would look right at him and say, get that off my porch. And it took a lot of door-to-door activity because most people, as you know, are not home. So.
I'll throw a question to Tom, co-producer here, just to get your take on why you were drawn to work on this project and what you got out of it through the process.
Growing up, I didn't know Jehovah's Witnesses. I think I knew them through jokes and television, kind of what you saw at the beginning of the film. And in college, I remember taking a class on Holocaust studies, and I don't remember hearing anything about the experience of witnesses. I remember it was sort of a mention. And I remember, thinking that I knew quite a bit about litigation, especially as it relates to individual rights, and I didn't know about this history. So I was really drawn to kind of the untold stories. And I think I was drawn to wanting to tell it in a way that humanized real people. And so it was really a privilege to get to know the people that you're seeing up here.
What have non-witnesses had to say about the film?
What does non-witnesses have to say about the film? So the film is played at a number of film festivals, so that would be a largely non-witness audience. People like it for different reasons. I mean, the witnesses here may like it because you may feel like, well, finally my story is being told in a fair way. A non-witness may not agree with your theology, but may say, well, that's really interesting that your fight for civil rights has aided my ability to share a message, and you're not trying to stop me from sharing my message. So there's a respect there that I think people walk away with. So that's been the general comment I've heard.
What helped you to not lose hope as a young man and not become, embittered?
Well, I did lose hope. I did become bitter, and I didn't consider myself human anymore. I mean, the idea of believing in God or anything like this was the most foreign idea to me. I had no use for God. I almost hated him for what he permitted. So from my point of view as a Jew, was that we didn't fail him, he failed us. So the reason why I became interested in the witnesses, I said before, was because of their strength and their humanity, their heroism. I consider them heroes. So it was because of their position that I wanted to know what makes people like this. What makes them behave like this? What makes them act like this? The position of the witnesses and their humanity, plus my Jewish background, fitted together. Then I said, this is it. And this restored my faith in God, and I understood really why the Holocaust happened and who is responsible for it. So that everything made sense, and not only made sense, but we put in a different position. Rather than being a victim, and well, I'm still in some ways, but instead of being a victim, I became somebody who was working or supporting God from attack by others. So this is a wonderful feeling to have, that instead of being a victim of God, I become a supporter of Him.
Well, I'm going to make that the last word.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and if you go to knocking.org, there'll be updates, and you'll be able to keep track on where the film is going next, and what's happening with PBS and whatnot in the DVD. So I hope you do that, and I hope you tell others, witnesses and non-witnesses, about the film.